In this video we are going to do liquidity ratios. The first ratio which I'll be teaching you is current ratio. It is current ratio. Now, current ratio, the formula for current ratio is current assets over current liabilities. Current assets over current liabilities, and answer to it is always written in ratio 1. Remember, if you are not going to write answer in ratio 1, you won't get any marks. For example, the total of current asset is 8,000 and the total of current liabilities is 4,000, and what you have is 8 over 4, which equals to 2. Now if you are simply going to write 2, you won't get any mark. You may lose 1 or 2 marks. The right way to answer this is that you should write 2 ratio 1. Now this is the first ratio. The second ratio is quick ratio. The second ratio is quick ratio. Now in quick ratio, what do we have? The formula is almost same, but there's a slight difference. Now what is the slight difference? The difference is current ratio bracket except closing inventory. Now this is what I write: except closing inventory, divided by, once again, current liabilities. What we'll have, once again, whatever the answers are, you are always going to write it in ratio 1, and the answer of quick ratio will always be smaller than current ratio. The answer of quick ratio will always be smaller than current ratio. After that, the third one, we have inventory turnover. Inventory turnover. Now there are two formulas for this. One is rate of inventory turnover. Rate of inventory turnover. The formula for it is cost of sales over average inventory. The formula for this is cost of sale over average inventory. And what is average inventory? Average inventory is opening inventory plus closing inventory divided by 2. So what do we have as rate of inventory turnover? Cost of sale over average inventory. And what is average inventory? Opening inventory plus closing inventory divided by 2. On the other hand, what is the other formula for inventory turnover? That is average inventory divided by cost of sales into 365. The answer to this formula will be in days, and the answer to this formula will be in times. The answer to this formula will be in days, and the answer to this formula will be in times. The ratio is fourth ratio is trade receivable turnover. The formula for trade receivable turnover is closing trade receivables over credit sales into 365. Once again, the answer will be in times. The answer will be in days. And the fifth one is trade. The fifth one is trade payable turnover, and the answer to the formula for this is closing trade payables over credit purchases into 365, and once again the answer to this will always be in days. What you need to remember is that whatever the answer is, it will always be rounded up. For these specific two ratios, whatever the answer is, it will always be rounded up. For example, you get answer 36.2, you will not round it off to as 36, because it's 36.2, you will always round it up, it will be 37. Just remember, like petrol stations do, whatever the answer is, they'll round it up rather than rounding it down. Or the rules of rounding of mathematics are not going to apply over trade receivable and trade payable. That's all for liquidity ratios. Now next, in our next video, I'll be teaching you how to solve the question and the interpretation and the comments